think they get 2. Yeah, we gotta wait 90 seconds till the game starts again. Same civs. Alright, so I did this in the semifinal. We're closing in on 2K viewers now. So I want everyone to type where you are from in the chat, because I want to see the chat blow up, and I want to see how many different countries and how many different states, how many different counties and towns are supported here. While you're at it, you can type your social security number. I promise no one will abuse it. That's awesome. This is the coolest part about streaming, for me anyway. Especially streaming a game where people come from all over the world. So anyway. Oh, hold on. I gotta scroll back up. There's some social security numbers. I need to save them for science. Well, welcome everybody. Glad you can make it today. Thank you for supporting what I do here. If you don't know, if you scroll down below the stream, there's a widget, I guess, that shows where people are from. It shows the top 10 viewer locations, which is cool to check out. My guess is Germany would be at the top of that. United States would be second. And then I don't know after that what we would find. A lot of Americans in the chat. I think because I've streamed in European time zones for so long, I have a larger base of European following. And a lot of Americans probably coming back to the game while the Europeans stayed with the game for a while on different platforms. But anyway, forget about that. Welcome, guys, to Game 5 between Liereyy and Viper in the grand final of the King of the Desert tournament. Chinese here for Liereyy in the blue, and Viper is in the red playing as Britons. What did I say? I said Lierey's going to call a re, and potentially could get a really bad map anyway. And that's exactly what has happened here. Good start, but wood is going to be a huge issue for him. He has this wood line. He has 2 trees in the back, and then he has this wood line. Yeah, guys, I have to say, not the best map for Liereyy. That being said, it does even out a little bit, because Viper also has an open map. But Viper, he's the Grinch. He has stolen all the trees, stolen all the Christmas trees. They're palm trees, but whatever. And he has a lot more wood to deal with here, and I think Viper has the better map now. I'm saying that Viper had a ridiculously good map last time, so I cannot blame Liereyy for calling the re, considering his and Viper's. But we'll see how it plays out, as Viper is Britons, Liereyy is Chinese. Chinese are versatile civ. They can do pretty much everything that is available in tech trees in this game. Britons, somewhat one-sided. It's ideal if they get in a position to build archers later in the game, especially if Viper's in control of them, because they can abuse the additional range. Now, I'm going to point this out. It's a very small thing, but because Britons collect sheep faster, Viper has not gone with the standard 6 on sheep here. He went with the 5, so he can still sustain vill production. And what that does is, that allows him to go to wood 1 villager early, which give him a little bit more wood to maybe build the barracks, to go drush, or man-at-arms, or basically anything he'll want to do, he should be able to build slightly earlier. Neither player going out for a lame. I saw Liereyy lured in 1 deer, and Liereyy should find his sheep there. If Viper runs forward now, he might find this boar. I really like the mindset of, okay, my opponent just used a re. Let's make him use another one, or let's make that be a waste by laming him. But Viper's playing it safe instead, and he'll have to get pretty lucky to find this boar immediately. It'll be 4 on wood for Liereyy as well, okay. And yeah, I just don't know. With the openness of the maps, this will be another aggressive game. Last game was one of the best games I've seen in the tournament. Of course Viper's going to show up here. Of course Viper's going to show up here. Of course he's going to show up here. Like, how many times in this series has Liereyy missed Viper's boar by a tile, and Viper goes to the correct side of the cliff, to the correct corner, and sees the boar? Unreal. Let's see if Viper wants to trap the vill. Yeah, see, his vill is loomed, but Viper wants to pull an MBL, and he wants to block the vill when it's on its way back with the boar. It's just being annoying, man. He doesn't want to steal this. He just wants to be a pain in the butt. It looks like Liereyy will get it back now. But look, yeah, Viper just gonna block it. Eventually, if Viper keeps doing this, the boar will just die out here. Like, if it was Goths, the boar would have just died. But good for Liereyy, he's able to get the boar in anyhow. And I just think that Man-at-Arms, Skirms, Archers is going to be a very strong move with these maps. However, with the civs, we might see Viper just go right into Man-at-Arms Skirms, or Drush Skirms. And if Liereyy expects the Skirm switch, he could go 2 ranges, go Skirms as well. The scouting is important. Also, and map awareness, I mean, just everything. I'll no longer give specifics. I'm just gonna be general and say everything is important. About to be 22 pop for Liereyy. Technically, he's 1 vill ahead because Viper didn't get Loom yet, right? Yeah, so with Chinese, if you get a fast start, since you start with the extra villagers, you tend to have a vill or so up, be a vill or so up on your opponent. In this case, Viper, when he gets Loom, he'll fall a vill behind. And that's why you go 23 or even 24 pop up at times. Viper is going to Drush. And what I can foresee happening is, this house wall continues on the front. This is already walled to this corner. And then he just needs to wall on the left-hand side between these cliffs. And I feel like Viper should make a tutorial series on how to wall. Because he's really good at it. How to scout and how to wall. His scouting's always to perfection. He always knows where the gaps are, and he always walls at the safest time. Lierey's on the way up, and how many times have we said this, where Lierey's on the way up to Feudal Age to attack Viper, and Viper's still in Dark, counting on his stronger economy and counting on a little bit of walling at home. Liereyy, to be honest, had no other option here. If you were to try and wall this map, it would take forever, so it's probably best just to leave it exposed. But it's certainly not ideal when you're down 3-1 to the Viper. And if Viper wins this game, he's going to be on the brink of winning the finals. The 2 lumber camps for Liereyy. Looks like it's going to be a scout build for him. Which means he's going to need to get through Viper's walls. And he's going to have the mass of scouts to do that. Drush just distracting for Viper. Viper has not walled the front of his base yet. Viper's clicked up. He's gone up 26 population. I love the fact that he's clicking up relatively early. I love the fact that he's taking good engagements with the Drush. He might even find a vill pick. He will find a vill pick. Think. Hold on, he's going for the scout first. Yeah, he killed this vill. I thought he could have got that one. But Viper's not being too greedy. He knows that if he goes up on a higher population with more villagers, he might have a faster castle time. But then he won't have any counter to the scouts that will be coming... Oh, or the archers that will be coming in from his opponent. Weird. This range is super late for Liereyy. He's already lost a villager. He's had trouble adapting to the openness of his map and the aggression from Viper. To the point where he's actually palisade walling out 2 militia and a scout. Ugh. So he will go skirms, I guess. And that's actually music to Viper's ears. Because you gotta mass those units, they don't kill villagers fast. The Viper's gonna add his own ranges, probably can make his own skirms. He has food from the deer on the way, 500 food. There's the archery range. Now will he go double archery range, or will he go archery range blacksmith? Yeah, double archery range. So he knows he needs some form of military. But there's nothing that the skirms from Liereyy can do, except... there's the blacksmith. Except cancel out Viper's archers. And Viper, since he's full walled, he can just garrison all of his units, click to Castle Age, and then when Lierey's not paying attention, sneak out the side and go on a counter raid for counter damage. And with the range he's going to have, he can destroy all of these wood lines. A Viper strategy much better in my opinion. Score deceiving, because Lierey's bound to have more score due to the fact that he's creating military. He's creating a lot of skirmishers that are getting attacked by Viper's scout. Viper's being annoying, even forcing this vill away. Viper is going to lose an archer. And he's going to play it safe and build a watchtower here. But he's holding out for the Castle Age. And he's going to click now. So the Viper did do the Drush Fast Castle. Wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close to it. And, like, I struggle. The only thing Liereyy can do now is simply hold. He's going to have a stronger economy because he's getting the eco upgrades earlier. He has more farms. He's going to have more vills. But he's not going to be in the castle age. So he's not going forward. So that means he needs to make sure he has units scouting around if Viper's going to go out on that counter raid at some point. Viper's playing this very safe. Viper still might be tempted to sneak out now. That way when he gets the upgrades and he gets the additional range, he'll be at Lierey's base. But Viper doesn't have a lot of numbers. He just researched fletching, only 4 archers. And he still seems to be scared of the pressure Liereyy is sending his way. When you go Drush Fast Castle like this, you're not going to have a lot of resources floating, guys. The question is, will Viper's walls be able to hold for him? I think that Viper's playing it safe. But many times in this situation, you'll see Viper run out the left side of his walls and go immediately to this woodline. Because if he was here now, again, Lierey's not doing anything with these skirms. And villagers would die for Liereyy. But this is very good for Liereyy. This is exactly what he wants. He wants to see Viper's archers at home. He has a skirmisher's mass. He's taken map control. Viper will have the range now. He's going to have 8 range once he gets all the upgrades. So he can actually fight the skirms. If Liereyy gets a kill, I'll be surprised, but it'd be a freebie. And now this is where we get to see Viper dance. Oons, oons, oons. Let's see the crossbows go here. Because he'll have so much range over the skirms. And even though it's the unit that counters him, it's going to be insane. 8 range versus 5 range. And Liereyy getting Town Watch, you can tell he's expecting Viper to show up on that wood line I spoke of. Viper hasn't taken any shots. And Liereyy is in a difficult position now. Because he's not close to castle. He's an open map. And can't really afford to give Viper the map control, but at the same time, he can't fight Viper because Viper will just hit and run the entire time and use his range. I'll have to mass a lot of feudal skirmishers. Viper can get his castle age economy upgrades and just pile on the pressure now. I don't know if Viper will stay 1 TC or what, but Siege Workshop now, if he can afford to make a stable now would change things. 1 knight would clean up all the skirms. Now, Liereyy just relying on numbers now, and he's going to have to hold not only throughout Feudal Age, but throughout the time he will be on the way to Castle Age. Counting on his numbers, and counting on his micro to keep these units alive. He has a lot of skirmishers. He's going to build a market. He's also on stone. I think defensive towers are in order now, as Viper slowly creeps across. You'll notice he's trying to trap Viper with splitting up his army. He tried it before, and it became 1 army here. He's trying it again with the new skirmishers. I think Viper wants a Siege Workshop. I think that's what that villager is going to build. Ideally, he would have had it on that hill. That's what he was going for because he was a gold miner, so he was clicked there, I imagine. But now he's going to build it here. And Liereyy is slowly but surely getting closer to the Castle Age click. But I do think Viper is way ahead. You know, assuming Viper will do Viper things and not lose his units here. When Liereyy clicks up the Castle Age, that TC will be idle, which means that the build difference will pretty much be even. Not to mention, Viper's going to have a Mangonel soon, and there's no knights available to Liereyy to kill that. And Viper is going to push Liereyy back in a moment once the Mangonel arrives, and he knows it. And Liereyy knows it as well. Liereyy waiting for castle. Yep. Just sold some wood for the gold, I guess, he needed. He's clicked up now, but Viper has the crossbow numbers to one-shot these skirms if he's hitting them. And now the Mangonel should be coming out. Here it is, 93%. Viper's getting more and more map control. I love the micro from Liereyy. Still, a lot of units are not dying. This is why ballistics is important. Viper may be getting a little bit too close here, but nope. Not taking any shots. Somehow, some way, not receiving any damage from the skirms. Tower now for Liereyy. Has he held on long enough? I feel like right when he's going to feel confident, right when he's thinking, okay, time for Elite Skirmisher, and we're golden. Right at that moment, the Mangonel arrives. He's adding a stable because he's getting scale barding, so with the stable, maybe the Knights can kill the Mangonel. He does expect that move. Where's the stable? There. But he's lost his hill. This is Lierey's point of view. He sees the Mangonel. Viper's gotten so much map control. And now Viper says, okay, you're going to run away, and I'm going to go into your economy. What are you going to do about it? Palisade wall will go down. Villager's forced to build a tower. Viper has 8 range here. Does he actually want to go in, though, and get potentially trapped? I think that's what Lierey's going for. He's trying to come from behind. I'll stay on Lierey's point of view, I think. Because he's the one receiving this pressure. This wood line is in trouble. 2 Mangonels here. Skirmishers can't fight that. At least not right now. Viper's picked off 1 Vill. He's going to leave 2 crossbows here. Brilliant move from him. Just to delay the entire wood line. He doesn't need to have all of them. He needs to get the hill again. Had Viper kept all of his crossbows here, I imagine he would have lost his Mangonels to the Knight, which will be coming out for Liereyy. Okay, he's sending the crossbows back. These 2 crossbows are doing so much damage. They will find a Vill pick or 2, and they're delaying the economy from Liereyy. And now Lierey's getting Elite Skirmisher. He's getting Leather Archer Armor. He's going to have full upgrades on the Skirmishers soon. And he wants to fight this with the Knights and with the Skirmishers. 7 range for the Skirms. 7 range on the Mangonels. There's 2 Mangonels. And there's only... well, there will be 3 Knights. But Viper, though he's been 1 TC for a while now, he's on 2. And he's going to have a lot more economy than Liereyy at this rate. Still, Liereyy, this is his time to take a fight. He needs to do something now with his Skirmishers. And oh goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness. I don't think Liereyy knows that the Mangonel is here for Viper. Viper should get at least 1 shot. He's gotten the shot. Liereyy is in an awkward position because he has to get in close to the Mangonel, but he can't get in too close because the Skirmishers have minimum range. And that is about 10 dead Skirmishers for him. And even still, Viper, with ballistics on the way and the additional range, he can actually fight these Skirms. Micro is fun to watch here, but it's not going to be easy for Liereyy as he loses Skirmishers here. And he's still sitting next to the Siege Workshop. Fortunately for him, Viper doesn't have a new Mangonel on the way. Viper is protecting these Mangonels, man. Viper's Vill lead is rising. He has 12 more villagers. Liereyy, now he's on 1 town center. He knows he needs to do damage. He has a Siege Workshop. He just seems behind now. And again, he's in an awkward position with these Skirmishers. Why is he here? Okay, he's running away in time, luckily. Maybe considering going in. The Knights will probably now run to the right-hand side as the Mangonels are by themselves, but Viper, every single time, will come right back to those Mangonels. He doesn't leave them for too long. There's been many opportunities for Liereyy to kill those Mangonels, but Viper always comes back at the right moment. He'll add his own Elite Skirm. These Elite Skirms can kill Vills, so Viper will have to run away from his wood. The Skirmishers are still finding themselves in awkward positions. They will again run away. With ballistics, with Viper micro, crossbows are going to be strong. Liereyy is sending in the Knights. Oh my gosh, I don't know how that shot actually hit. Viper, with the attack round, I think, to start that 1 attack off. He is going to lose 1 Mangonel. Probably will keep the next one alive. Now, the raids continue from Liereyy here, but he's fighting versus Elite Skirms of Vipers and a Mangonel. Nice harassment there on the wood line. The Viper just has so much more economy. He's taken better trades. The Mangonels really can't offer much for Liereyy. He's forced to get upgrades on a unit that's just there to kill Mangonels. Here, he should be able to kill that Mangonel and some Skirms. But saying that, Viper's going to run away with the Mangonel and send the crossbows over, and yeah, Knight's going to go down. And at the same time, now Lierey's coming back in. Viper sees this. These guys are so good. Like, if I was just focusing on the fights, I probably wouldn't do as well. Both of these players, attack round needed. Nice micro from Liereyy. Both these players with insane attention to detail. And even though Lierey's behind, the same applies to him. Because we're just watching the fight while they're doing all of this as well. That's the thing you miss sometimes. 20 extra vills for Viper. Another Mangonel will arrive. I loved the elite skirm choice from him. That way he's not throwing away too many gold units of skirms. But his trades have been much better. And nice micro from Liereyy, but I don't know if it's worth sticking around here. He's lost this knight. You know what? He's going to try and trap Viper right next to his own siege workshop. Let's see how this goes. Viper, though he has range, he can't really run anywhere. Liereyy will out-micro this Mangonel. He has his own here. He has his skirms here. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, the headshot there was huge! This Mangonel will go down. Lierey's still going to keep his Mangonel alive, but I doubt Viper will lose any units now, seeing as he has the range, and he has a new Mangonel on the way out, and he'll go for the skirms. Another great shot for Viper. He will focus down the Mangonel. No doubt about it. Are you kidding me? His Mangonel's still on 1 HP? What? Like, as good as Viper has been, he has been very fortunate in certain situations. Don't see how that Mangonel stayed alive. Anyway, micro needed again from both players, and both players firing and missing. And Viper wants to build the castle, and he is going to look towards Imp. It's so big to get Imp as Britons, especially when you're already using your extra range. And Liereyy almost needs... He almost needs his own castle, maybe on this hill to stall. And then it just gets more difficult if Viper clicks up to Imp first. But I'll be honest, Liereyy has lasted longer than I thought he would in this game. He's taken some decent trades now that he's killed those crossbows. That's the first time Viper slipped up. And to his credit, he's been fighting right next to the enemy siege workshop. So, it's not easy to do. Chain barding now for Liereyy. Will he go all in with knights and skirms and castle? Or will he try and go to Imp? Viper has a castle here to protect this side of his eco. He has a castle here. We've talked about scouting before. Viper can see this gold. He can see this gold. He knows his opponent doesn't have them. Great map control. Viper with amazing micro here. It would not surprise me if Viper goes for the next castle either on this gold or this one. Just so he can secure that as the game goes on. It still hasn't clicked up to Imp though. He's actually not very close to it. And the chain barding knights are on the way for Liereyy. Liereyy gonna kill the Mangonel, can kill some skirms. Viper's crossbows out of position. And oh, this is awkward for Viper. Very, very awkward for Viper. He wanted to send the crossbows forward, wasn't expecting the knights. The nice move from Liereyy, and he can't even get the crossbows back. He thought about it, and now he's saying, okay, just forget about them, they're dead. This is where Viper is somewhat vulnerable. With +2 knights and elite skirms, the micro is going to be needed for him. Plenty of stone for late game. Liereyy also has the stone for his first castle. This is where it gets interesting. Both players not wanting to commit too much to fights, taking smaller engagements. Most of the engagements in this game, honestly, have been away from both economies. It's just a matter of what Viper was able to do behind his fight, and with his castle age advantage. Liereyy needs good map control because of the lack of wood on his map. This is such a bad map for him. Viper's map is wonderful for this stage of the game. Multiple golds down here safe, multiple woodline. He built the castles. He's getting Yeoman in the castle age. I'm sorry. I don't recall seeing that before. I actually didn't know this, but I can only assume in the expansions they added it to the castle age. That's... Okay, I'll give my opinions on the fact that that's there later, but now he has 9 range here. How many people in the chat didn't know that that was available in the castle age? Because I just found out about it. Noob caster confirmed. Liereyy needs this castle. I think both players going for aggressive castles. Viper really didn't need to build the castle here. A micro with the crossbows, one-shotting the knights. Viper's lost his Mangonel. Liereyy will get his castle up for sure. Viper microing down a lot of units here, so I imagine he'll get his up as well. And then it'll be a race to Imp. But, okay, so some of you didn't know. How does that make any sense? It's already obscene with 8 range. How does it make any sense to allow the 9 range? And now the castle could be denied. Like, sure, it's cool, but that's potentially broken. Of course, Viper's already in a good position. I said I would keep the balance out of it. And yeah, Lierey's going to call it the GG, because his castle's going to be denied. And Viper, as Liereyy knows, is in a much better position economically. That's crazy. To be completely honest, I don't think the Yeoman decided that. I think Viper still would have been able to micro down those units. But, wow. I didn't even see that in the previous rounds. I didn't see players affording that in the previous rounds. Pretty crazy stuff from Viper once again. And he's just been more solid. Liereyy potentially regretting using his re on the map before, but I mean, it's not his fault. I understand calling the rehost before. It's just unfortunate that he ended up getting this map. And Viper, every single time, seems to get slightly better maps, and he definitely knows how to use them. This is a game that if Liereyy looks back on, he can't be upset with himself, because the map was awful. He played fairly well after Viper's early castle age and Viper's additional range. I would say Liereyy played really well considering the circumstances here. But now, it is 4-1 here. I'll show you the KD. Here's the eco stats. Technology, society. I think we all knew Viper was ahead in that game. It was just a matter of time, right? Liereyy really needed to go all in castle, which is not doable versus